Yeah.
Well, well, well. Happy Saturday morning. We here, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, now you know. This is the side Jawn. I'm your host, Dennis Holmes. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Miss Sharon Mullen, the chocolate girl.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
All
How is
right. And we
everybody?
today we have some special guests in the building. Uh, they're very I would say social media active with their relationship goals. If they would say it, their marriage is a ministry, as they would say. We
Ooh.
are here with the lovely Pennermans with a purpose, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, what's up? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, good morning. Yes, this Justin and Ash and Asia are in the building. That's what they are.
In
Now,
the building.
I gotta come right out and I just gotta ask the question. I wanna know, how do y'all deal with the temptation in your relationship?
Yeah, right out the gate. All right.
Right out the gate, yeah. Just punch you right in the mouth right out the gate. You know.
Okay. If you mind if I start?
Go
Yeah.
for it.
For me, I'll be honest, we live in Atlanta. And for people that know about Atlanta in the summertime, it gets thick out here in these streets. I'm not blind or anything like that, you know. But most importantly, I'll try to condense this answer because I could go a few different ways. Um, how I deal with temptation is knowing that Aisha, Aisha's feelings and what she thinks is in high regard to me. So if she sees me looking at somebody else and like staring and drooling or something like that, how does that make her feel? You know, I'm not trying to make my wife feel any less of that you have to look like somebody else. I married you. I fell in love with you. I didn't fall in love with you. You know that I'm a man and that women are gonna come by. Women are gonna come up and talk to me and not even say anything to her. Things like this, things like that. And so, she brings it to my attention. When I listen, I do. I really try to understand where she's coming from. Sometimes I don't always understand, but just dealing with temptation in that sort of way by remembering her, remembering my kid, and, and knowing that that moment of pleasure is not worth the risk of putting my family at jeopardy.
I think holding each other accountable too, because like one thing is like, yeah, we're husband and wife, but we're also friends, and we can also be each other's accountability partner. So like if it does come, and this has happened, like if it comes like for example, if someone does come, sometimes I'll even warn Justin. I was like,
Oh
there's a big booty girl in
big
there.
booty
Just
alert!
warning, there's a big booty.
Wow.
Like,
Wait. Time out. Y'all say big booty alert? Did y'all say that? Wait, hold up. Hey,
I
yeah.
bid they do.
I believe they do
Watching,
too.
watching them right now, I believe that's what they say. I do.
Aisha's like where the office she works out at, and she was like, "Hey, by the way, there's a big booty walking around." And I was like, oh, "Okay," But then I was like, "Hey, I mean," and I saw the lady. I was just like, "Oh,
that's what you're talking about."
Yeah.
But it's like, but that's so much better just having that open relationship where we can like talk and hold each other accountable if there is a temptation ahead. It's it's we in this together, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So, or like, I'm trying to think of another example. But it's just the most important part is just holding each other accountable, you know. Because you're a man, you know, and there's beautiful women out there,
It's Atlanta.
and vice versa, you know. But I think knowing that we're in this together, and that if either one of us are tempted, we can go through that together. You know, we can counter that together. It doesn't have to be like all the power I have to do this on my own.
Yeah.
And I can't tell them that I'm having this temptation. It's just, I think it's important that whatever temptation we do have, that we talk about it with one another.
To be honest, because I mean,
Yeah.
another one, we were at a water park, and it was just, it's Atlanta. You know, like people were just gonna come almost wearing nothing, and then all I told her, she was like, "Yeah, it's bad out here." You know, who's just going down. So I was like, all right. So I mean, it's not like we're gonna cut it off early because we got the kids and stuff like that. But just being, I'm gonna be honest, it's like, oh, it's problems walking around this place. So anyway, that was it.
I had the same situation at the water park. I didn't have that situation when I went to Miami, which is thought that's where it should have been in Miami, and not the family amusement park. I don't understand what's going on here. But yeah, I had the same situation. And it was on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon that I had the situation. That was the bad part about it. I just couldn't understand. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I couldn't understand it. But I know another thing about y'all, that y'all actually y'all have a family business going with your social media page, and I wanted to know exactly, what businesses do y'all actually have?
Okay. You can start off.
So we have a few different things going on, but like well, I'll just name it, I guess. So there's a design agency. I'm originally a graphic designer, and so I've been doing it freelancing for a long time, but just decided to
slow up.
Huh?
You decided to slow up.
But so lately, I decided to actually slow down on that because my art side, I also paint murals, so the art side has been really picking up. So I'm actually trying to transition out of that and then focus more so on the art and the nonprofit side. And then the nonprofit is also in the midst of getting launched, and that's basically like a community arts organization where we go out in under-resourced and disinvested communities and paint murals and bring in the youth, bring in the communities to come help paint these murals. And then Justin, you want to talk about the other two? So
I do a lot of stay-at-home dad stuff. But originally, if some people know our stories, that I was in the fire department, and there was a situation there, I got let go. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump into entrepreneurship myself. And I originally went to school for DJing. And so right now I am a full-time DJ, event DJ. But with that being super slow right now, I'll be honest, Aisha works way more than me. Like she actually like goes out to an office and stuff like that. So then I'm more have adapted to the stay-at-home role where I have, I take care of the kids. I make sure that, the domestic activities are done. I make sure they're not just eating DiGiorno's. We make sure we eat some broccoli, some green beans, and some chicken. So I try to make sure we get a whole balanced meal. So, but yeah, besides, the DJing gigs that come in between, of course, we have Pennermans with a Purpose, which is a business, but is less about the income. It's more about the impact. So help manage that with content and social media aspect of that. And I assist Aisha with her murals. So if there's big ladders and the nonprofit. And so if anything she needs help with that, on the admin side, I'm there. So I pretty much at times my wife, but this is a partnership. Everything that we have is together. And that's pretty much what we do.
All right, that's good. Now, what are, I know y'all talked about this. I want to say probably around when y'all were getting together. But what are some of y'all deal breakers in your relationship?
Now, deal breakers when we were dating, correct?
Or like deal like
Well, I think some of them are still around now. I would have to say that.
Just
Uh,
in your relationship period, what are
Right.
some deal breakers? And did y'all talk about what each other's deal breakers were before you got married, or did you just find out what they are after you got married? Yeah.
well, when we were talking about what we both wanted more so. You know, we were talking about what we more so wanted and not what we didn't want. Um,
Mhm.
and so I don't really recall the term, you know, like deal breakers. Like I remember like for me, I wrote down a paper of what I want in a missus. And I know Aisha had a list herself, and we shared those lists with each other. And so, but I mean, one obvious thing was that you have to keep God first. Like I know Aisha wouldn't be with me, and I wouldn't be with her if if we didn't have that first love being God. So that is completely the main thing. Um, Now is a ride or die type of situation. I wouldn't necessarily say we have deal breakers now. We're human, things happen. I can't tell you like, okay, if it hit the fan, what exactly will we do?
because we just don't know.
Yeah, because
I don't even
sometimes you
know
don't know.
what that.
In the situation, we know as for today, taking it one day at a time, that divorce isn't on the table. We can tell you like for today, divorce isn't on the table. I would love to speak for the future. It's like, hey, Aisha, if you step out on me, I'm just letting you know divorce isn't on the table. I want to keep that mindset, being that I haven't been put in that position, and I'm trying to prevent that situation as for for me and me stepping out or something like that. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I'm trying. We're taking it one day at a time, and just realizing that that isn't on the table today. Like we don't want this deal to be broken under any means. We're trying to have this unconditional love. Try the best we can. Learn. We're just really trying the best we can,
and be led by God.
and yeah, and be led by God. So, hopefully, that answers your question.
All right. All right. Now, like I said, back with y'all show Pennermans with a Purpose. How long have y'all been doing Pennermans with a Purpose?
Oh, that's
Prior, you were recording videos
well,
when back in
yeah.
2018.
So I started recording videos
About the
maybe
journey.
about my personal journey about how I lost my job, and those are some old videos, but just a quick backstory is that this is what 20 I lost my job in 2017, a few months right before we got married, and it was just straight garbage. I slipped into a depression the following year, 2018, um, and it was just a hard road because I never knew how to navigate these waters of having a family but not being a breadwinner. Like it was just a new realm for me, a new role that I was not really up to adapt, like just adapting to that type of role. So yeah, I release these videos on my personal page called Transparency 101, and I just learned, like I know I'm not the only person that feels this way about how life is going. People have suffered job loss. People have suffered worse than that, and so that started in 2017, and about 2019
Is when we did our first video.
is when we started doing our first video because Aisha, you quit your job in the end of 2018.
So we were just out. Out there.
Yeah, I think that's the title of the video. We out here now.
Yes, that was what it was.
And so.
And people thought we were crazy, but it was just like
from some close people.
Yeah.
It was like so people were leaving slick stuff in the comments on their social medias. I was getting text messages.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
The hate is real.
Yeah,
They thought y'all. I mean, they really thought that y'all had lost something, like something slipped or something.
yeah,
Because I think that's awesome. I'm sitting here like, this is
Yeah,
great.
I think it's a great thing too, because there's not the reason why I love it, and the reason why I wanted to have y'all on the show, because you don't get that many married couples who are okay with sharing the world and letting people know, listen, we're not perfect as a married couple. These are the trials and tribulations that we went through. Maybe this can help you be better in your relationship, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
and come join this journey with us, and take it step by step with us. And a
And
lot of
something and
people need that
something
because
else.
it seems like it's so hard to be in a relationship. I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
married
and stay together.
and stay
It's,
together.
what I was gonna say. I know some women who will have left him
yeah,
in his depression and
Right,
said, "I'm out.
yeah.
You're not helping me." All selfish like.
right.
So I'm listening to this like I would be putting in the comments, this is dope. You know, my word is dope. I still use dope. I'm old. What can I say? But
Yeah,
I would say this is dope. I wouldn't be putting that mess in the. I wish I was y'all friends back then, knew about y'all and saw that in the comments. You know, I had something to say, Justin. You know, I would have something to say in the comments right back to them.
right.
Right.
I can't believe it. That's why I'm just so shocked that
It's,
people saying slick stuff to y'all about that.
They just
But
don't.
I don't
but the
understand
hate,
it.
but you get hate from everything, so it don't
Oh
surprise me.
my.
But I'm
Mm.
glad that y'all went through that, and it was nothing but a brush off your shoulders. But
How did you handle it? How did you respond?
well, we did a video about it, but we were trying not to respond out of anger, like 'cause if I
Directly.
like directly, like, oh, you know who you were, come out out of the subliminal tweets like that.
Right.
Uh, I'm not trying to do that because if you hurt me, you hurt me. You know, I'm
mhm,
gonna be honest. And it did hurt because it was just like I knew how I felt already about the situation, about embracing this stay-at-home dad role. I already knew how Aisha, felt. Whereas that, okay, she has to go in day in and day out, and her business, thriving. And doing it every now and then, So I was like, okay, God, I had to deeper into my relationship with God and be like, what do you want from this whole thing? Because it just looks different than the traditional sense. But just dealing with people is that you got to close those people out. Also know that they're not living their best life at the same time.
woo, preach on it, preach on it.
Yeah, is that
Let me take a drink.
they step out to do
Mm.
what their purpose was. I mean, you could be out in
Mhm.
30, 40 years. Everybody's not called to be an entrepreneur. We're not saying purpose equals your career, but you need to do something. You need to do something worthwhile. You need to do something more than just your income.
Be led.
You need to be led. So I had to realize that, some people are afraid. Some people are very observant. They're trying to see if we're going to sink or swim out here, because
That's right.
some people won't walk out on their purpose until they see you doing it. So that was one big thing that we realized, that we can't go back. We can't go back to where we were, because out of this uncomfortability is growth.
And it's impacting others.
Right.
We see some, they see a bit of it, but a lot of times we probably may not see it or even know who we're impacting. But we know that
That's right.
our story and us jumping out in faith is helping people.
Yeah. And I think there was way more, this is the last thing I'll say about it. There was way more people saying more pleasant things and saying, hey, you've helped me.
Yeah.
Than there were the negative comments. And it's just like the news. It's just like you're not gonna see a whole lot of good stuff on the news. They're gonna put the spotlight on the negative. And that's how we are as individuals. I like the negative is what stuck out, but I didn't see all the majority of the good comments and like, yo, man, I'm going through the same thing. Man, y'all are helping me. I was just pushing all that to the back of my mind. So that was a mindset thing for me.
That
Okay,
is just
all right.
that's outstanding. Dennis, we have a question from the comments. Can we
Oh,
ask them a question at this time?
okay, hold on. Shout out to Sheila, my girl Sheila. She said,
That's
"How
my
do you
sister,
deal
y'all.
with your individual family drama and interference?"
Oh,
That's my sister. My sister comes up with some doozies.
good,
That's
good.
Mm.
one thing when we're doing before we got married and we were doing premarital counseling.
Yeah.
Our pastor said something that still sticks to this day, and it helps us a lot. But we handle each other's, and like, so I handle my side of the family, and Justin handles his side of the family.
Right.
So if there's ever a conversation or an issue, I deal with my people, he deals with his people, versus, you know, us, you know, and it seems to work out better that way. I mean, that's what's been working for us.
Yeah. I mean, that's the main method is, and I hope, you know, if she wants to go in depth on the question, but that's how we deal with drama on each side of our family. You know, I don't want anybody from my family coming off sideways to Aisha directly. Because at the end of the day, even if Aisha may have done something wrong and made a mistake, that's still my wife at the end of the day. So you have to respect that position. And so, you know, be there to protect her, no matter what.
And vice versa.
You know, and vice versa. Yeah. That's how we deal with family drama from in-laws. Now, I'm not sure if Ms. Sheila also talking about how we deal with personal family drama, like in our household with the kids. That's a little bit different.
Because we're also a blended family.
Yeah, we're a blended family.
My oldest was from a previous relationship. So, you know, that's a whole nother dynamic that we've had to learn to work through as well.
Yeah. And just, I think there's a stat out there now that I'll probably double check it. I think it's like 40 to 50%. It's becoming a growing number that there's more in America that there's more blended families. So you're gonna have to interact with you know, another party, another parent, and you may butt heads. In this situation with Aisha's ex, that we had a pretty decent relationship going in, and then we hit some challenges on the way. And right now, I'm at the point where it's just like, you know what, I'm gonna try my best to walk in love with this guy, you know, not necessarily for the sake of the child. I'm gonna say that again, not for the sake of the child. I believe my son is gonna thrive no matter what, you know, no matter who's, you know, friendship or what. I believe God's got him ultimately, but I'm doing this for myself. It's like, I'm not going to walk around with any malice in my heart or hate in my heart, because that's too heavy to carry, you know. So I'm going to try my best to walk in peace with this guy. And I, you know, hope eventually one day we'll come around to being on better terms.
And see, that's great, because children, no matter their age, they can sense when there's something awry between the adults. Whether you show it in front of them or not, they always know.
Yep. Yep.
And they may not express that they know, but they feel it. And they have a keen ability to internalize that and blame themselves for whatever's going on with the adults. And so I respect that, Justin. I respect that point of view, that you have made it, you know, your mission to do that. That's awesome.
Yes, that is awesome. Now, the reason I was asking about y'all shows, y'all have one show on there that kind of hit me and Sharon just a little bit differently. You know, the cliche is
like, what?
The cliche is happy wife, happy life. And y'all actually say that cliche is a lie. Now, our listeners are going to want to know, why do y'all say that that's a lie?
Go ahead, take that one. Got that
so, you know, us being believers, we never want to depend on, I mean, you could use this in life. You never want to depend on someone else to make you happy. You know, it's not Justin's responsibility to make me happy
all the time.
You know, it's ultimately it's God. You know, it's that personal relationship with God that helps with that. If anything, I feel like us being, I can't remember what we said on that video. What we say on that video? It's been so long. It's not our responsibility. What else did we say?
Well, it was something else. It was that, you know, that statement makes the relationship so lopsided, where it's like, okay, you can have a husband doing his hardest to make sure that the wife is, you know, happy. Mm-hmm. And in a way, I get that,
And
but it needs to.
yeah.
But there needs to be an equality. The best relationship is where you're serving each other.
Yes.
It's not where
yes.
one person is serving the other, and they're just benefiting.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, the husband or the wife, ever they're going to get the short end of the stick, and you don't want that. And giving that person space and grace to be human, to make mistakes, and to grow. Sometimes if you're living this happy wife, happy life mindset, you're gonna always expect that they do this. You're not gonna give them space to get better. You're not gonna give them grace when they make a mistake. I'm not speaking in absolutes, but I am speaking from actual things that I've seen. As like
very close to us. There's a marriage very close to us where they're on that happy wife. They said it, you know. But if looking at their marriage, it's not happy.
Yeah.
You don't see joy in it. They have any and everything you can think of, any and everything that you can think of, literally. And it's like, you don't see the happiness.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see that joy. And so it's like, it's so much more to it, you know, than I got to do any and everything to make you happy, because the perfect example, it's just, it wasn't working, you know, for them. So we've seen the example.
Yeah. There's like one screaming example, and then and we've seen it in other places. It's just, there needs to be a common ground where we're both serving each other and we're both being understanding when that other person falls short. If I fall short and I get angry at Aisha, and then I fall short, it's like, I want her to show me some grace. I don't want her to get, super upset at me. I understand those emotions can be definitely valid within the moment, but I want somebody we all want somebody to be understanding when we make mistakes, because we're human, so it's just like, I think that's the best relationship, with when you have some understanding and you're giving that person space to grow. They can't grow if they're always serving you, if it's only lopsided just like that, so it needs to be some duty split in that type of situation.
One of the things that helps us is that helps with happiness is we have these meetings with each other, where sometimes it used to be every week, but I think we started doing like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. It ranges, but we make sure that we still have those meetings on, okay, how do we do this week or this past couple of weeks, or like, how would you rate how, and when we say how do we do, meaning like in the romance department, in the
conflict
resolutions, and just so we're building each other, just like how when you're in school and you get a report card or a progress report card to see how well you're doing in your work. It's the same thing. How well are we doing in our marriage? Because you want to just keep going and you're on autopilot, and then things builds up, and then it's just something blows up, and you're like, well, whoa, where did this come from?
Yeah. And that's happened to us.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, we got to stop the blow up before it happens.
Yeah.
So if we have an argument on Monday, let's give it to like Wednesday, Thursday, and then like, okay, what
let's have a conversation.
Let's break it down. And then that helps out so much.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, man, I didn't even think where Aisha was coming from. I wasn't even seeking understanding. When she said, this is what I thought about this situation, because this is what was happening, or this is what was going on in my mind, and vice versa. That helps out so much in just turning the blow up. Just like it helps like build that back up. I'm like, man, you know what? And now I know where to work, like how to improve from that. I know how to improve from like just the past situation. So we could try to divert from a blow up happening again. It's gonna happen, but if you can minimize it, mitigate it, that'd be great.
That's good. I'm gonna say this. My next question was.
Go ahead and talk about it, Miss Aaron.
No, I just that cliche has been around a long time, and I really believe it means different things to different people, right? Yeah. I had never heard your interpretation of it, and now that you've explained it beyond the video, I get it more. I get better where you're coming from with it. I don't necessarily think that that cliche is used to mean in a way that to make it a lopsided relationship, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It's more tongue in cheek, you know, keep the wife happy, then I'm happy. You know, it's usually said by men. It's not usually said by women. We tend to use it as a punchline when we're talking to our girlfriends and say, "Yep, that's what I told him I wanted." So, you know, happy wife, happy life. Ha ha ha, you going down the, which we don't really believe that. You know what I mean? It's not make me happy all the time and forget what you want, so to speak. Even though if you take it literally, I guess you're right. I mean, what you're saying is right, but I know for me, and when I'm in a relationship, his happiness is very, very important to me, and I would never just expect him to do everything that I want all the time.
Yeah.
And that talking about this just led me to a question. Do you all ever, I know the answer already, even though I haven't asked you this before, but I can pretty much guess what this answer is going to be. But are there times when you do things that the other one likes to do that you don't like to do necessarily, but you do it because they like it?
Yeah.
And
I
don't you
like to
do
know what
that?
that is.
I'm venturing. I'm guessing the answer is going to be yes.
Well, I want to know what it is. Like, does she want to watch Lifetime movies and you don't? I want to know what it is.
Dipsy Dennis trying to really go in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? Well, Miss Sharon, before I answer your question, I do agree that in every relationship, that's why I said I don't want to speak in absolutes. It could be different. This person could say this statement,
Mhm.
and it may not be lopsided for them. You know,
Right,
so
right.
for these things, for some relationships, like in our community, definitely looks weird. You know, but I totally agree with you. Every relationship is different. People are just different. So I
Right.
agree with that, and I understand it means different things. Um, to your question, yeah, there's been some instances where, and I'm gonna attack it like this, where Aisha has done things or watched things that more so because I wanted to, and she made that point, is that if it's a movie or a show, more likely I want to watch it, you know. And she says, you know, we watch things you want to watch, and I was just like, oh, I thought you wanted to watch it too, you know,
I
but like
really.
necessarily always the case.
Mhm.
And that has happened, and I'll be transparent about it. Some stuff that Aisha wants to watch, whether it's a show or something, I'm just not into.
Or eat.
Or
The eating thing is a
well,
whole other level.
Mhm.
I think food is sacred, so we can't play around with that. So
Yo, what? Yo.
I knew Dennis wasn't gonna let that go by.
well, movies real quick. Um, I know that I have to get better with watching some things, or at least trying to watch some things that Aisha likes. We have some shows that we definitely have some shows that we
Watch
both,
together.
like together. But being open to watching a movie, I think the last movie that I know Aisha wanted to watch, and I didn't mind watching it. It wasn't my first choice. Was The Photograph with Issa Rae and Lakeith Stanfield.
Oh,
And once I saw that it was
mhm.
available, I was like, "Hey, you want to watch?"
Okay.
And so that was one instance, and I know there needs to be more of that, and I just think that's just really serving. That kind of comes under like serving one another. It's just like just it's a small level, but it's just like keeping what she likes, keeping what she wants to do in regard. I don't want to be selfish, especially if she just told me that, Justin, we watch a lot of stuff you just want to watch. I was like, so I can't be selfish in that, you know. So that's something that I'm trying to get better at as I speak right now. So you guys hold me accountable. I'm trying to get better.
Okay. I'll be checking in.
All right. All right, let's do
So
it.
you know that stay tuned after dark. I'll be checking in on you.
Yeah.
What about the I don't want to call it cliche, but I'll call it a rule. What about the never go to sleep mad at each other rule? I strongly believe in that.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
Jade in the comments, Jade wrote that in there. What about the never go to sleep mad at each other rule?
So that's
How do
happened
you guys practice that?
a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're not perfect. And and people, throw scriptures, don't let the sun go down on your wrath, stuff like that. And I'm sorry.
Bye. Just bye. Too hard, huh?
Yeah,
But that's used out of context. That don't let the sun down on your wrath.
I have to
But
be
it's
honest,
not
I don't know the
technically-
correct context.
Well,
A
friend of us explained it so much better, and it was along the lines of
not letting the
whenever you get
opportunity
so-
go past.
yeah.
That's
So
what
like
you're
once you get the opportunity to squash it, pretty much, take that opportunity. It doesn't necessarily mean at the end of the day. That could be
because if the argument
the next
happens
day.
at 12 midnight and it's boiling, that first opportunity may not come until 5 p.m. to later.
Because to be honest, like for me, for example, me and Justin are different. Like when we have an argument or we have a disagreement or an issue, Justin likes to like immediately talk about it and like get it done.
I do like to squash things right away.
And then I'm like, no,
I'm guilty. That's me. That's me.
Start talking about it now. I'm like, I'm already hot. I'm at 100, so I know the conversation is not going to be productive.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I'm gonna be mad. And I'm gonna probably say some slick stuff.
Yeah,
so.
Oh, is that how it is?
I ain't gonna lie.
I don't believe it. She looks so calm, like and reserved.
I believe it.
She wouldn't be hunching out doing the Patti LaBelle on you. I don't believe that.
Aisha look like she ready to throw some bows out here. Like voice will get up there and stuff like that. But I'll stop.
So at that point, don't talk to me. Let me calm down. Let me cool down, and then we can talk.
Still learning.
And so sometimes that may be the next day, And so it's just, and each marriage is different, each relationship is different, And so what works for us and what we've learned, because there's sometimes when Justin's like, nah, we need to talk, and I'm like, no, and then it blows up, and I'm like, see. So it's like we have to learn each other. We're still learning. Close to 4
you're not
years
gonna stop
in,
learning.
we're still learning. So it's just
you shouldn't.
Justin is the let's get it done with, and I'm the now let me cool down. And there's been sometimes where we were able to talk about it right then and there, and it went well. So
right.
it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we had to know and respect how each other communicate or work.
Well, that's great insight, because I read somewhere that rule actually is rooted in that. They don't technically mean don't go to sleep. By go to sleep, they mean die. And they mean before you die, you need to resolve whatever issues you have with that person. That's the I guess the history behind that saying.
Like that.
So before you don't want to die still mad at this person, or let the last word said to that person be harsh or any of that. That's where all that comes from. So that's great insight that you all look at it that way. I'm the same way, but I have to admit I'm a lot like Justin. When stuff goes wrong with people I care about, my spirit is actually restless and unsettled, and I can't calm it down until we talk about it. And it'll bother me. And I know I have people in my family. Yes, I'm gonna say it, Sheila. I have people in my family. They can go weeks without talking about an issue. And it drives me insane that I am the only one out of all my immediate family that says, no, we need to talk about this now.
Yeah.
You want to talk about being alone and having something drive you crazy for weeks? I'm like, how can you let this fester for weeks? I can't do that. We're going to talk. And then you can't make them talk about it, because that makes it worse. So you're forced to calm yourself down. I am forced to calm myself down. And I just can't be around you for a minute, because every time I see you, I'm going to be thinking about that. Right. And we're going to need to talk about it. And then you don't want to talk about it. Then I'm mad at you because you won't talk about it. See? Woo, help me, help me. I'm still like, help me, Father, help me with this because I have that bad. I do.
Yeah.
And I won't say it's good or bad. I'm just gonna say that's how I am.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Me on the other hand, sometimes it matters, sometimes it don't. It depends on what the situation is.
wrong with
Sometimes
that.
it matters, sometimes it don't.
Mhm.
Sometimes
But
I'll just
but
ignore the
but
whole
remember,
situation.
Dennis, I said it's if I care about you.
No,
Now,
I
if I
mean
don't
even
care
if I
about you, if I don't care about you, we can let it fester and we can talk about it later. But if I really care about you and you're upset with me or I'm upset with you, I want to resolve it like now. I can't take it.
I'm talking about even if I do care about you. Sometimes it matters,
I can't
sometimes it
do it.
don't.
I wish I could be like that.
I got into a point in my life where it was like, you may try to spend, days to talk to that person, trying to get them, to know exactly what you're talking about. But I also got to a point in my life where, look, I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. It
Yeah.
just is
Yep,
what it is.
that's
Yeah.
always been me. Too much mouth is what they used to tell me when I was little. But
They
I
still
just
tell me
believe
that
in
now.
telling. Well, me too. But I still feel like you have to tell people how you feel. You got to be transparent so they know where they stand with you. That's just so important to me. And I'm
I,
sure you guys find that to be true. Even in a marriage, you got to tell the other one the truth, right?
Right.
Yeah.
and so, for example, like I have to also like if I do tell Justin like can we please talk about this at another time. Also have to hold myself accountable and let my pride down. Like, okay, Aisha, you calm down. You may still be a little upset, but you still need to come and talk about this with Justin. So like I have to because like there's times where it has festered and it didn't help, but I have to hold myself accountable and go to Justin and be like, all right, Justin, I'm ready to talk, and not let it continue on. So
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Go ahead, Dennis.
The last thing I wanted to ask, well, it ain't the last thing, but another thing I wanted to ask y'all was more so, what has been the difficulties that y'all have had with the blended family?
Um, it's definitely parenting definitely. Of course, I mean,
The
blended family
difference
means
of
the
parenting.
difference of parenting, just how Aisha sees things, how I see things, and then how
Our
our son's
son's father
father,
that sees
how he
things.
sees things. Initially, we all met up and had a conversation on what we thought was best for for him, for our son. His name is Caleb. What we thought best, for Caleb. He has some different views. I have to understand that. You may not agree, but you at least have to hear that person out and see where they're coming from because you want them to do the same to you. Um,
Mhm.
so we had one initial meeting, and then that was really it. And so where we're at now is that Aisha talks directly to him, and I don't. Um, they have a conversation about Caleb and how he's being reared and how well he's doing in school or any issues coming up. I don't jump into it because, well, I don't really speak directly to the father anymore because I just know the tension there, and I'm like, you know what, it's best for me not to say anything, especially how I am with the sarcasm and stuff. I don't want it. I don't want things
No,
sideways. So
no, you sarcastic. No.
so I just have to be aware of all that.
You
So
just have to be aware. It's just the different dynamics in parenting, and I think from the parenting side, our views have gotten better. I feel like
oh
though we
yeah,
have some differences, it's over the years. I feel like there's been some maturity in all of us
right.
to where at the end of the day, and we all understand this, we just want the best for
We
our
just want the
son.
best for Caleb.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
just want the best for him. And
Mm-hmm.
and to be honest, parenting was almost like the number one situation, the number one argument that we
Us.
would have, me and
Just us.
just not even with the third party.
Yeah.
That was our biggest argument because I'll be honest, I'm a disciplinarian. I think things should be done a certain way. With Aisha, there's more, space and like I said earlier, space and grace to kind of grow, be a child and stuff like that. So I had to understand where she was coming from. And she also had to understand where I was coming from because it's 2021. They say there's nothing new under the sun, and I understand that, but I never grew up during a pandemic. Y'all never necessarily grew up during the pandemic, I don't think. So this whole new way of learning, like he's in now, but then the virtual learning, all that, like he's being exposed to all this technology. There's so many different factors that I didn't have to go through, Aisha didn't have to go through. So it's things that we're tackling one day at a time. And we're keeping the best of Caleb in mind.
And what grade is Caleb in?
The third.
He's in third grade.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow. I can't imagine being third grade having to deal with all that they got to deal with. Third grade, I was just trying to make sure I was writing in cursive correctly. That's what I was doing.
That damn virtual school. I don't know how the hell y'all do it. I tried. That damn virtual school is something else.
Yeah.
Oh, I got another good question in the comments. Sheila on fire. My sister, she on fire. What advice do you give couples to not outgrow one another or grow apart?
Keep dating each other.
Keep dating.
Just like how started, going on dates, courting each other. Continue that.
Yeah.
Continue that dating. Like, it's because the longer you're in marriage, things start to just be automatic. Routine. Yeah. And so
you don't water the grass the same.
It's just different. So it's like we have to keep that in mind of breaking that routine sometimes and just doing something spontaneous.
Right.
We have to go on dates, away from the kids. Like we have our family time with the kids, but it's also important for us to get some alone time together and go have fun like we used to, So it's I feel like that's really important is continue dating each other.
Yeah.
Still be friends with each other. Yeah. I don't know if you had anything else to say.
No. I mean, and just continue to be transparent. H just come to me and say, hey, I would like to, go on a date, or I'd like you to plan something, just take initiative in planning something, nice. I feel like we haven't gone on a date in a while. And I would think about it. I'd be like, oh man, okay. And it's not always on the forefront of my brain to be romantic and stuff like that. But this is just part of, taking care of your lawn. You see somebody else's lawn and be like, oh, it's so green, it's so lush. That's because they're taking care of it. So take care of it. And for me, just, taking care of Aisha in that regard, taking her out. Because for me, I'm simple. Like it could be dinner and a movie. But, it's like, but I know Aisha likes to do paint and sips, doing ceramic classes, things that, aren't really high on my list, but I have fun doing it. Like after, our first paint and sip, I was like, I could do this again.
Like different things. I like to keep
keep it fresh, keep it hot.
Yeah.
Keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Did she come downstairs with the mini skirt on sometimes just to see the legs and like, Suki, that's my wife right there, don't you? Gotta do this right here, right?
Atlanta.
I understand. I understand. That's what's up.
I actually like to
tell everybody about this date where you guys made this song. That was cool to me.
And that was Justin planned that, and I had no idea. So that was a really good example of like keeping it hot, keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain it because I didn't know what was going on.
Right. I was planning this date for months, just like months. And I was like, okay, let's do something different. And so I found this song by an artist named KB. He had the instrumental and the acapella. I have friends that do music that have, just booths and recording studios. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write a verse for both of us, and we'll just turn into a date day. We'll go, we'll record a song together. It's something I like to do. I think Aisha will appreciate it. It's something that we're creating this experience, and I know Aisha likes that. And so we're gonna, go do this song, and then we're gonna go get some good food afterwards, and we did. So,
It was fun.
That song is available on our Instagram and Facebook. To check it out. It's called the 10K Remix. And for the record, Aisha, she snapped on it, but I wrote her verse.
He did write it.
I wrote the verse, so I do want to.
All right, now you gotta take his credit. Go ahead.
She delivered it though, because some people can write the verse.
Well, I tell you, all of you listening, you got to go catch it on Instagram at Pennermans, Pennermans with the purpose, and go check out the video of the song. It's really, I like it. What's the word am I gonna call it? It's dope. It's really dope. I like that. You did, and yes, you killed it. You killed it, Queen. You killed it. Oh, good job. Good job, collab. Dennis, go ahead with your question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I forgot where I was at. You cut me off. I don't know what I was saying.
Oh, come on now. You young. You got to keep that up here. I'm old.
That's what I was saying. I'm the old one. I feel old.
I got to say stuff before
I'm the one that got the snow on the roof. Okay.
Oh, please. I ain't going to talk about that snow right now. We're going to leave that snow right where it is. But I do, while you remember, I do have another question.
Okay.
You know how, another question in the comments. Sheila on fire. How do you deal with negativity from your acquaintances? She said. I'm not really sure what that means. I asked her, what does she mean? I guess she's getting back to me, but I think she's just talking about, I guess, other people, friends of both of you. Do you double date or do you travel with other couples? That's what she put in the question. And how do you deal with negativity from other acquaintances?
That's a good question. To be honest, I don't really feel like we've been like someone brought their negativity into our relationship.
A really good job of not trying to bring that into our relationship.
Yeah, we've seen other couples have their issues, and just it hasn't really affected. We haven't really let it affect us because it just wasn't directed toward us. So I don't really know the best way to answer that question because it really hasn't happened the way that I think at least the way the question is being presented. And then so far double dating, we went on a few double dates and nothing was really
never traveled with them we never double dated.
We did go. Well, now while we were dating, we went on a cruise. That was a group cruise, but we were dating, but we weren't married. And nothing really. And it was actually some drama on that cruise. We can at least say that. But
we tried to escape it.
Yeah, it's a big ship. If y'all have an argument, we could go over here and play shuffleboard. Yeah. Or
there's plenty to do.
Yeah, there's plenty.
Ship. Yeah.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Do whatever you want to do.
So good that you all have not experienced that, but if you were to experience that, or for couples who have experienced negativity from their acquaintances, how would you recommend that they handle it? Do you have any advice for them?
More so on the family side.
I just want to say acquaintances. Okay, my bad.
On family, with family we have. Okay. And so.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
So this was the beginning of the marriage.
This was way beginning.
This was when we were ready to get married, and there were some negative comments said about me. And True. So, Justin, how did you would say you handled
it? I think I handled it well enough as I think it matched my maturity at the level I was at. But yeah, it was trying to not let this person be known.
Yeah.
You know,
We
because
don't
I
say any
still want to,
names.
because I'm
Yeah.
still walking in love and forgiveness.
Yeah.
When some negativity was brought to our relationship from this family member about Aisha, my response was to, let's shut this down. And I was like, hey, I sent the text message back, hey, this is my wife. This is somebody I'm about to marry. This is my fiance. So I can't have you, sending I'll be honest, sending pictures of other women to me. I can't have you saying, come visit you where you're at to talk to these women or any of this. I can't, I'm not doing any of that. This is who I'm marrying. This is who I'm in love with. Hopefully you understand that. If you don't, there's no more for us to talk about.
Boom. That's it. I
Um,
wish there were more people like you. Boy, I could talk to you all day about that type of situation right there. But I'm not. We only got a little while left. I could go on and on about that. So my hat's off to you for telling them that, because there are a lot of people out there, probably more than you realize, that would not have stood up
yeah.
and said that. But at least that's when you knew. You knew in your heart what you wanted to do. And you probably also knew that Aisha wasn't gonna put up with that mess if she found out anyway.
Yeah.
You probably didn't even let your brain even go that far, because you had already made up your mind. Look,
Yeah.
don't even put that in my whole aura. Don't even put it in there in my space, because I've made up my mind. You know what that means? I've made up my mind. Did you hear me? That's my fiance. I'm marrying her. So that's excellent. Sheila offered some more insight on her question earlier. She said negativity, as in, man, I wouldn't put up with that, or girl, you do too much for him. You know how to. Oh, especially the girl. Can I talk to you for a minute, Aisha? You know how the women are. Girl, I wouldn't make his plate. Girl, I wouldn't do that for him. Why can't you come out with us? Why you let him make you stay in the house? You know how we are.
Yeah.
Single as an MFer.
I feel like, and I think the way, because I don't get it as that much now, but I feel like nipping it in the bud early is what helped. You know, like once you start feeding into that negativity, that's going to continue, and they're going to continue and they'll feel like they can say those type of things to you. But once I feel like you nip it in the bud and correct it at that moment, and let them realize that what Justin was saying, this is my husband, like let's chill out with that. I love him and I'm going to serve him, and that for me or you, but it's just like, let us do us. Let us do us. So
it's kind of like my bad.
There was one more thing I had to say, but I can't remember. Also, this is another one. You just have to be careful in a relationship. You just have to be really, really careful of what you tell others, especially like when you're upset.
Yeah.
If you're upset, like just don't go calling somebody, be like, girl, guess what he did now? That is unhealthy, because with friends or family, because it's like, and I've done this, I made a mistake and done this before, and rep the consequences, because it's like, once you tell them something that he's done, you come back, me and Justin have already squashed it. We talked about it, but so it's gonna continue to stay with them, and they're gonna start looking at him differently, like be really, really careful of what you tell people. I would even keep your relationship, keep your marriage within, there, unless you have like an accountability partner where they have the marriage back and not like the individual person's back. That's what we're looking for, and like some of our family, they're going to have the individuals back, because we're, that's who they know us, So like, it's important for us to be, if we do have a conversation with someone, it's someone who knows that they are the accountability partner and knows that they have the marriage back, so the things they say about the marriage and us being together versus, the individual person.
Yeah. Just to add on to that, we are accountable to each other. But then if I really can't speak to Aisha in that moment, and it's like whatever size the argument is, I do have one friend that I do call. He was a DJ at my wedding. He's a believer. Believes in God. God is at the forefront. But at the end of the day, he's known me since I was 16. So he knows my dirt. He knows if I'm in the wrong. Most importantly, he will protect me and be like, Justin, you were wrong. You were wrong. I'm not saying this to be your friend. I'm not saying this to be your buddy. I'm saying this because I support the marriage. Those are the type of people that you want around you.
That's right.
So that is what I have. And that's one person that I really just, if I have to talk about something like deep about my marriage, that's who I go to, So that, just to credit to what Aisha is saying, I just wanted to make that clear that's a tool that we have. At least dealing with negativity from others, man, you pretty much said it all. Because especially in, I'll say, the Black community, you could go to a barbershop, you could go to a hair salon, just women like they can get together and just like really like dog out their husbands. Same thing at the barbershop. Same exact thing. I was like, I can't really feed into this because one, that's not necessarily my life or my issues. And I'm not really trying to be dragged into this because if I get dragged into this, then I'm no longer going to see Aisha in a better light. I'm going to just start seeing all her flaws. What if she chose to focus on my flaws? So I have to, like that's, I have to think of like how to be better instead of how to be worse. And so the one time that example I want to give is I was in the car helping this guy move. It was two guys in the front, I was in the back, and they were both just like dogging their wives, like, man, my wife does this, and they were like, one guy was really upset about his wife, like what she was doing, because she had just did it, and the other guy was just like, yeah, you right, crazy, and I'm just in the back like, I was like, yo, what is on the video? Is this preachers? Is this young Dolph? I was like, man, I'm trying to like either switch the subject or let them, hash it out. I'm not gonna feed into that. I'm not gonna like try to feel like, I got to join in and dog Aisha in as well. I'm not part of that, So I let them, speak. If that's how they vent, that's how they vent. To me, it didn't seem constructive. So I just kept listening to young dog.
So the message is keep it within, right? Also to shut it down and don't feed into it. So look, Dennis, so my new name for them, they the shutdown corners. That's what we gonna call them. They just the shutdown corners. I'm gonna be like, so when I call you shut down, when I see you, Justin, when I call you shut down, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Because y'all are the shutdown corners, because y'all shutting everything down. I can see it.
Gonna have to call them primetime Pennermans.
Yeah. Primetime Pennermans,
baby.
I like that. That's dope. Primetime. Let me write that one down before I forget. Primetime. Yeah, I like that.
I don't know if you got it, Sharon, but like sometimes you got to shut down to build up.
Buck Flair.
Another one of them quotes, man. Sometimes you got to shut it down to build it up. All right, I like that. Got it.
Buck Flair said, is that a King Cobra shirt? Malt liquor. No, that's not a malt liquor shirt.
Lord have mercy.
I don't think Justin drinks malt liquor. Because, he's a little bit too sane for malt liquor.
Aisha got these shirts.
I don't know where I got these shirts from.
Somewhere online. We were supposed to wear them on our honeymoon.
Cobra.
When is your honeymoon anyway?
Or anniversary?
Anniversary, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I still say the same thing. November 10th. And our second, our youngest son, his name is Jace. He was born November 9th. So he's our anniversary.
Okay. So how long have y'all been married now? How long will this be this year?
4 years in November.
4 years. So how did y'all meet? That's what I want to know. I've been curious about this whole hour. How did y'all actually even meet?
Aisha slid in the DMs.
That's not true.
Yeah. Yo.
Can I say?
That's not true.
Yo.
mean,
Lord have mercy.
Yo, Justin
Oh,
is
no,
crazy.
he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. Did you slide in the DMs, girl?
Not exactly.
Well, oh, Lord. This is funny.
I gotta I'm talking the truth. There's only one truth. She slid in the DMs, and I never looked back.
Oh, Lord. I hear you.
Yo,
All right.
hold up, man. Hold on. I gotta write that down. Hold up.
We gotta tap that up again. This for you. This for you, Aisha, on the DM slide. There we go. There we go.
No, you really wait. Hold up. Tell me, you really slid in the DM?
No. I'll clear it up. I'll clear it up.
Right, thank you. Thank you.
So we went to the same church. Didn't know, and mutual friends created a group meet for the young, just for
millennials,
just
like,
for millennials and stuff.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it was like our church, another church. We would do like kickball games and stuff like that.
Go out to eat,
and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we're both in the same group. People, we would just be talking about all sorts of stuff. Be talking about God, be talking about Pretty Ricky, all sorts of stuff. God, Pretty Ricky.
God, Pretty Ricky. Okay. All right.
So this is literally what happened. So I was like, okay. I created an event within the group just saying, hey, I'm going to go down to Atlanta. I'm going to go to Taco Mac. If anybody want to meet up. A few other people said they were coming. Aisha said she would come. And so that was the first time that I saw her in person. And then we continued going to just like group events. Like we would run into each other at group events, like an ice cream social, kickball game or something like that. And then I just started actually seeing her at church. I was like, oh, okay. I remember you, Aisha. And I think every time we saw each other, we would just, we would like sit and talk. And it was just real chill. It was just really chill. And
then there's a group of us started working out.
Then a group of us started working out. It was me, you, and no, actually it was a lot of people said they were going to do it. Mm-hmm. But that first day, it was just me, Aisha, and another one of our friends, another young lady. Mm-hmm. And so we went. And then when it came to go back the next day, the other girl didn't come back. And so it was just me and Aisha working out.
There were a few other people that said they were going to come. But yeah, at the end of the day,
it was just us.
Being us two.
It was
at
just
the gym,
us at LA Fitness. Mm-hmm. And so that was when we started getting some just one-on-one time to figure out who, the other person was. That's really just how we met.
Mm-hmm. And then from there we started going out to eat. You met Caleb.
I met Caleb at church. But
he was 2 at the time.
He was 2. Mm-hmm. Now the DM situation actually happened before we started working out. We had went to an open mic night in a group setting, and Aisha had
I had just made a joke because there was like a joke going on at the open mic, and so there's like this inside joke. So I found a picture that from the open mic, sent it to him like, "Oh, this is old boy," and that's what you could call sliding into the DMs. But it wasn't nothing like crazy. It was just like, here's.
But had I been a less attractive man to her, I don't think she would have sent that picture.
Oh my goodness. You see how he had to bring it right back around to that? You see that? Okay.
I seen it.
I got you. You see that? You see that, Dennis?
Y'all see it.
But how
so wait a minute. So from sliding the DM, then y'all went on. I guess y'all went on a couple dates after that.
Well, we were just kicked. We were like,
friends for a minute. Yeah, we
would go to these events, see each other, sit by each other, and then the working out is really what became more consistent. And going out to eat after working out, where we just got to know each other as friends. I wasn't looking necessarily for. I mean, I would be happy if I found a wife, but I wasn't going into this thinking like, oh, I'm gonna see if she wants to be my wife.
Right. Same.
No, neither of us had that mindset.
Yeah.
We were just really just on some friendship stuff, which I think was great. I think that was what was great for us.
Yeah.
And then, but we started kicking it so heavy, and actually, like I had a child, and so I was trying to think, keep that into regard, So I was like, okay.
Because you said you would never
Yeah,
date a woman with a child.
In my youth, in my younger.
Oh, did he now?
My younger days, I wouldn't date someone older than me.
It was 3 things he said he wouldn't date.
Tell it.
He said he wouldn't date a woman with a child.
Go tell it on the mountain.
He wouldn't date a woman at the same church, and he wouldn't date a woman, a light-skinned woman.
I was a colorist.
Really?
So you're still a colorist?
Wow.
No, I'm not a colorist anymore.
Yeah.
What did you have against light-skinned women at the time?
Time out. Did you just break 2 out of your 3 rules that you wasn't gonna do? I just realized that.
He broke all of them.
He did. He broke all of them.
I think it was some unconscious bias rooted deep into the Black community that I didn't know about the whole light skin, dark skin thing that I had to overcome and understand. I was like, okay, let me not feed into that whole negativity.
He assumed that they were high maintenance. He assumed light-skinned women were high maintenance.
Yeah,
that's not true.
That was completely wrong.
Yeah, you are. That was wrong. Yeah. But light-skinned motherfuckers are sensitive as hell.
The dudes are. Give me that dark chocolate any day. Hey, I think.
Right.
That's all I got to say.
Shout out to Ben Simmons. Anyway, go ahead, Shannon.
Yeah, whatever. So, okay, when did you know that she was the one for you, and when did you know that he was the one for you? How did you know?
Okay. Well, I want to say this. Some people say this. I don't say this. It was just like God told me. God told me that that's my wife. I'm not gonna tell you what God did or did not tell you. I know as for me, I believe God gives us free will to go down whatever path. God ultimately wants the best for us, but we will also have to accept his best for us. We can't, just decide that in our own mind. We have to, surrender, surrender that. But he gives us choices out here. And so with Aisha, I didn't hear God's voice saying, that's going to be your wife. I did not hear that. What I was praying about with my relationship with Aisha, I was like, God, what do you want to come out of this? What do you want from this relationship? Because, I'll be honest, I'm catching feelings after she caught feelings. I'm catching feelings. I'm catching feelings. This is a woman with a child. I come from a single parent household. So there's a lot of factors to consider here. And what I heard clearly to me, what God spoke to my spirit was that this would be good for you if you went this direction. It was just straight, it was clear as day. And some people, they're skeptical about, God talking to you and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I know that was real to me. I know that wasn't a fabrication or my imagination, because like Aisha said, I was really averse to dating somebody with a child, one, because I knew how mature I was. And so I was just like, man, I don't know if I could take on that responsibility of raising a child. I've never been in that situation. Am I ready now? Do I have to have the house? Do I have to have the paid off car? I don't have any of this set up. I have a stable job. I have health insurance. I have life insurance, and so I was doing a lot of that thinking, but like I said, I hear clear as day, God was like, this will be a good path for you if you choose that. And so I was like, you know what, cool. And so I was like, I'm gonna do some, I'm gonna see what this is about. So I don't know if I called or texted Aisha, but I was like, my intention is to get to know you more and to get to know Caleb more. I had to get to know both of you, to see what this is about. And for me, that was the step in the direction of courting, of getting to know both of them and being like, you know what, this is important for me. And just the last thing I'll say is Caleb is such a big deal because God knew what I needed more than I knew. He knew that I needed to step into a more mature role. Caleb helped us mature me as a man. as a father. And so he was teaching me since he's been 2 years old. So I do want to just say that. So big props to Caleb. So anyway.
All right. And Aisha, how did you know?
So I feel like it just felt right. I mean, it sounds like super simple, but it's like through the whole dating and courting, it just everything felt so good. And it was just so different from like the previous relationships where it was just like it was like sometimes there were like red flags, but you would ignore it because you just were really it was like none of that. It was just like it just really felt right. And I think one of the things that also stood out to me was that like he was even helping me grow spiritually, you know. And so like I've never had that, you know. So it was like he was helping me be a better person, and just a better have a better personal relationship with God. And so it was just like and so it was like we were iron sharpening iron, like, you know, like he was making me better. So it's not all deep for me. It was just like it felt right. Yeah.
But sometimes it's just as simple as that. And you really can't explain it any other way than that. It
Yeah.
just felt right. And that's the way it was. Like the only time, I don't know if people believe in love at first sight, but I didn't until I met somebody and we fell in love at first sight, literally. And it wasn't one-sided. He did too. And 7 days after we met, this was pre-cell phones, y'all. So you have to bear with me. We both sat in my basement and picked up the phone and started calling all the little numbers. You know how you used to get numbers in your pockets. You little piece of paper, put the number down. Back in the day, we sat down and pulled out all those numbers and we took turns calling people saying, hey, lose my number. I met somebody. Literally 7 days. We met on a Saturday, we met December the 3rd, 1990, whatever, that was the year. And then December the 10th, we sat down in my basement and actually made the phone calls. Me, him, and his best friend was there.
Wow.
I mean, that's just the way it was. And I don't understand how it happened. It was just I saw him standing there and that was it. I'd never seen him in my life. I'm like, who is this dude? As much as I go out, I've never seen you. Where you come from? And he said the same thing about me. So we didn't run in the same circle. So even though we did have a lot of mutual friends, we never saw each other. So anyway, long story short, it happened that way. Right. And you can't explain it. And when you try to explain it to people, they look at you, they don't believe what you're saying. God spoke, like you were talking about, God spoke. God didn't speak to her. Let me tell you, God spoke to me. He spoke to me for real. And I had never experienced that. Not at first sight like that.
Yeah.
So it is what it is for you. And nobody can tell you. Only you know how you feel. That's why I like to ask people, and I hear different answers just about every time. How did they know?
Yeah.
You know, how did they know? But Dennis and I were talking this morning before you guys came into the Zoom about anniversaries. This is interesting that you brought up November 10th is your anniversary and it'd be 4 years, right? And so I thought about the question about the anniversaries and about vow renewals and all that. But then Dennis was asking about, you know how every year, every anniversary, they talk about giving gifts for people's anniversaries and what you're supposed to give based upon what year it is. Yeah. Right. So I found this here for your first wedding anniversary. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to give paper, something made of paper. Second anniversary is supposed to be cotton, something made of cotton. Third is leather. I mean, you can get real kind of creative with the leather. I won't talk about that though. Then the fourth anniversary is supposed to be linen or silk. And the picture they have is this chick with these thigh-high silk stockings on and the little teddy. You know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about, Asia. That's that with the little straps that hook on to the yeah. That's in this picture. So Dennis was like, do y'all believe in the type of anniversary gift list, or does that even matter? I mean, is that something that young people, you know, because you guys are much younger than me. I know we did try to follow it back in the day, not to the letter, but we would look it up every now and then. I remember my mom had a calendar that used to have the whole list in the back of it. And sometimes before she would if she would go to an anniversary party, she would look it up and she would actually go purchase a gift based upon what it said for the year. She did. So have y'all even heard of that? Do y'all even look at that?
I don't think we've ever like followed it
we've never followed it. I've seen the list and I think it's cute. I think it's traditional in the traditional sense. And I think if you want to follow that, that's their if they want to give us something based off that, I'm just happy we got something. You know.
Right.
That's just what that
like the 50th is gold. You make it to 50 years, you're supposed to get some gold.
Gold brick.
You know what I'm saying? 60th is diamond. But see, I don't want to wait to be married to you 60 years for you to give me some diamonds. I want some diamonds the first year. How about that? I want some diamonds. But what do you guys think about vow renewals? If you remember Doug Christie and his wife, Doug Christie, NBA great Doug Christie and his wife, they do a vow renewal every year. Every single year without fail. And then I do know two people who actually recently did vow renewals, you know, renew their vows and so forth. Have y'all ever thought about doing that? Or is that something that you guys would probably be interested in? What do you think about it? The concept. What do you think about the concept?
I think it's cool. You know, I teach his own, but I feel like me and Justin had a conversation a while ago about doing that. I don't know, were we talking about our 5-year or 10-year?
I don't remember.
I just feel like there's some things that went down at the wedding, nothing crazy, and people at the wedding probably wouldn't really even have noticed, but I feel like there was a lot of things there were some things that didn't go as well. And it just
behind
the scenes. And it really stuck to me. Like this is depressing, but I was like crying on our wedding night, you know, because because of some of the things that went down at the wedding. So I feel like, and nothing between us. I know nothing between us. So I'm like, I want a redo, you know, and where I don't want a wedding, you know, I just wanted to be like me and Justin, and we go somewhere and we do renew our vows, and it's just us and maybe the boys, you know, and I feel like, I don't know, that's just me. I'm just like, I need a redo because it just did.
But what about us nosy folk that want to be there? We nosy. We want to see y'all do it. We want to be there. I want to bring my little tissue with me and be.
We'll put it on.
I want to do that. What you say to me? I mean, don't be cutting us out. We want to see.
So I'm for that reason. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The whole vow renewal concept I think is great. It just reaffirming why you're there in the first place. The Christie doing it every single thing. I think that's definitely their thing. I'm not knocking that if that's what they want to do. I don't think that's necessarily our style. Yeah, I don't know when we'll either do it at the 5 or the 10, which is.
Well, let me tell you how he does it though. He plans some elaborate venue and surprises her with it a lot of the time.
Wow.
She doesn't know. You see what I'm saying? Like she'll be, and it's around their anniversary, but it's not always on their anniversary. And so one time she was traveling somewhere overseas. I can't remember what country they were in. She traveled with her girlfriends. And he called one of them, told him what his plan was so he could get the itinerary and everything. And he showed up. And the girl, one of the girls knew, but not everybody knew. And he showed up on the trip, and she's just like, oh my gosh. It was really beautiful. It really was. But if anybody knows his wife, she is crazy. That's a crazy bride right there.
Hey,
But every year he loves this woman as crazy as she and her crazy. He loves her. And I mean, there's no doubt he loves her because he literally puts thought in it, gives her all the stuff that she likes that he knows would feed her soul. And he puts on this thing and she shows up and she's just like, I just love you all over again. It really is something to see. What you gonna say, Dennis?
I think if you're gonna do the wedding thing all over again, take the people you love. That ain't gonna mess up your day. Ain't going to destination wedding, all right? Go somewhere.
It's those people. All right, I'm not gonna say anymore.
Oh, never mind. Then take your immediate family.
I'm just gonna meet Justin and the
kids and the boys, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all go ahead to a destination and enjoy yourself. No way you should be crying at your wedding. Them dirty waka flackers. Always somebody trying to spoil somebody's shit. My fault. I was having a personal moment. My fault. Motherfucker had a fight at my wedding, so I know how the shit was.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, just before we end, I did have one more question that I wanted to talk to y'all about. It's from your podcast that y'all mentioned. And we didn't really touch on it too much, but I maybe we can let this be the last question, Dennis. But I want to talk about these friends of the opposite sex thing.
Oh.
See, y'all thought I was just gonna be all nice and cuddly, but I really want to know about it. And the reason why, because I don't know if you know, Aisha, but I am a single woman. I'm older. I'm not married. I'm single. But I looked around one day and realized I have a lot of married friends. Period. Most of my friends are married, and most of my friends are men. I know I've said that many times on Stay Tuned. Most of my friends are men, and they're married men, and I'm not friends with their wives. I'm cordial when I see them. We run into each other, but I'm not friends with their wives. But they're friends of mine. And I don't think about it. It's different with cell phones. You know, it used to be there was a house phone and it wasn't cell phone. So you call the house to speak to your friend and the wife answers. You got to acknowledge the wife. You got to be careful. I'm good with all of that. Yeah. But now there's cell phones. And I'll text or call my male friends that are married and not think about it. Not thinking about it, but I am cognizant of the time of evening because I don't ever want her to look at his phone and think, why is Sharon calling my husband at 10 o'clock at night? Yeah. So if he tells me to call him at 10 o'clock, like I have one very good friend. I'm very friendly with his wife, but I'm not going to say that we're besties or anything, but I'm very friendly with her. But he's the only one that I could feel comfortable with calling 10 o'clock at night and she's sitting right there. And I'm like, oh, hey T, how you doing? And we're talking, he has me on speaker and our whole conversation is right there with her. But I don't think that we do that because we are afraid of, making it look uncomfortable. I just think we just do that because that's just how we are. I don't know. I don't think about it too much until I saw your podcast. And then I was like, well, I might really have to start thinking about this because I think I'm from a different generation too. And I think that makes a difference. I really do. Because, you don't show up at your male friend's house that has a wife and don't acknowledge the wife. That's still a rule with us. But having them as friends, in my own personal circle of family, my parents had married couples as friends, right? And I was thinking this morning, I only remember one of those men coming over to our house and my father wasn't home. But that's because he and my mom were like brother and sister. And his wife was my mother's best friend. Best friend. So I could see him coming over. He happened to be my godfather too. So that, that made a difference too. But the other ones never came without their wives. So maybe that's something I need to think about. So I wanted y'all to elaborate on what you all said on the podcast about the whole friendships with the opposite sex. We don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to get that in there at the end before we left.
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I do understand we've been sharing the same. I think different situations present different variables. That person's character comes into play. Like I can now say I can't say I know Miss Sharon 100% well, but if someone did say something out of the way, I'd be like, I can at least vouch for Miss Sharon's character. I can say that about you right now.
Thank you. That really means a lot to me, for real. Seriously, it does.
So in that regard, I just know that people have to do what's comfortable for their relationship. If it presents some type of insecurity or anything, that they need to talk that out when it comes to like, okay, or is Aisha comfortable with me still having these friends that I worked with at Target or the fire department, and like who are single women? Are you still comfortable that I call them at 9 or 10 o'clock and there's nothing there? It's completely platonic. Are you comfortable with that? If you are uncomfortable with that, then it's my position to make a comfortable space for you. I will no longer do that. I'm not gonna be like, oh man, you being insecure, yada yada yada. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to bring that to the table. If it makes you uncomfortable, it does.
It's more to it.
Yeah.
I think it's just a respect thing.
It's
a respect thing. And also it's just like with these friends, when we're not saying like, oh, don't ever have opposite, friends of the opposite sex, but it's a matter of we're a package deal. I think that was what I said. We're a package deal.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
This friend of Justin's is now a friend of ours. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
Hey, we all gonna be friends in this,
Yeah.
And so, like if I had any guy friends, this is a package deal. Like if we're friends but you beefing with my husband, then that's not gonna, we're not about that.
Yeah.
So,
but that's usually what I say when I meet the wives. I always say, hey, your friend is friend of mine. You his wife, hey, we good. Hey, you want to kick it? Let me know. I'm always like that when I finally do meet the wives. Hey, you want to come over? Want to hang out? Let me know. Because like I said, anybody that's cool that he's with, then they're my friend automatically.
Yeah.
But still, beyond that, it doesn't always go beyond that though.
Yeah. What I was, definitely trying to make a point at is that some people are just different. Oh, that's wrong or that's right. It's just like, yeah, I want to be respectful towards you and also create a comfortable space for you. Do my job at that. So that's kind of pretty much where I was coming from with that type of situation. I think other people, whatever they allow permissible in their relationship, is different. It's like, okay, if you find that okay, both of y'all agreed on that, then that's fine. What we're presenting is really how we do things, and we're not saying that this is the right way, this is the cookie cutter method,
but this is what works for us.
This is what works for us. We know that one thing about that was like a candid conversation, table talk, because it's something that we always talk about. It's just like, what if we're out in public? Here's another, we're out in public and we run into an ex. Can I give her a hug? Or can I be like, hey, what's up? Good to see, like, because it's like, I don't have old feelings or any of that, but neither am I going to be all socially awkward and be like, oh, I don't see you. Like
right.
Like, we're all grown. It's just like,
right.
No matter what the relationship was, I'm going to at least acknowledge you and then introduce you to my wife. so I see it as that. So my thing is, I'm not gonna make it awkward, nor will I make it uncomfortable for any of the parties. So that just come in that type of situation. So yeah, like I said, it's about respect. It's about what they're comfortable with. That's where I was coming at it. And then and people just have to come more so from a place of understanding, is that this is what works for us.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the main reason why Dennis wanted to have you guys on, is because we got to talking last week on our show about respect in relationships. And he finds that you guys really demonstrate that you have respect for each other, right? You demonstrate it. You don't just talk about it. You seem to be about it. And what's one of the key ways that you show that you have respect for your spouse?
I know one thing that I do, or one thing I'm doing better at, is listening to comprehend. And because I try to catch myself if I cut her off, hold on, let me not do that, because I just don't like it being done to me. Just
Right.
treat how you want to be treated. So that's one way I show respect, is listening to really understand where she's coming from. I may not agree with it. There's been a lot of times I don't agree with where Aisha's coming from. But if I don't try to seek to understand, that's a whole nother ballgame.
It's both ways.
Yeah.
It's both ways. It's just us seeking to understand each other, not just us trying to rush and get our point across,
right,
but really trying to understand one another. Like communication is so important. It's so important. But with that communication, it's also listening. Taking it in is as more important as well. So I think
I like y'all. Y'all are cool. All right. I would like for you guys to tell everyone remind all of our listeners the name of your podcast show, where to find you all on social media and in podcast platforms and so forth.
Yes. So it's not a podcast, but we're actually really, really considering doing it like for real. And
it's a podcast to me. It's right. Video, y'all talking and moving, and it's posted. It's a podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
You're speaking it though. Into existence.
I'm speaking it. You got a flyer and everything. Yeah, you a podcast.
And y'all do a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I must admit, y'all do a great job.
Very good job. Mm-hmm.
Keep those crazy date nights going. I love the ideas. Don't y'all ever stop. I'm rooting for y'all. You know what I mean? I love everything that y'all doing. Yep. We met up. We family now, like y'all told me earlier. We family now. We done met up, but yeah, I want to see y'all keep striving. I'm glad that y'all came here on the side, Jawn, today.
But go ahead and tell where they can find you guys.
Right.
It's the Pennermans, Pennermans. Pennermans.
That's what I'm talking about. Now I got wait. I got two questions.
Yeah.
I got two questions. All right, these are two questions. Now, when you were going to change your last name, did you feel as though you wanted to hyphen it?
No, it would have been way too long. My maiden name is Johnson, so it would have been Johnson Pennerman. Pennermans is already long.
Yeah. I just feel as though, me personally, I had this conversation with a couple other married guys. I feel as though if a woman wanted to hyphen their name because they wanted to keep their last name, you wanted to keep your last name that bad, you should have married your dad. That's the way I feel. You know what I mean? That's exactly the way I feel.
Okay, now we're going to have some problems now. Now we're going to have some problems.
I'm just putting this out there. If you wanted to keep your last name that bad, marry your daddy. Other than that, you came in this joint to marry me. We're going to be together. We are going to be the Holmes or whatever last name the guy you with.
And
now,
I like this very unique, which is really dope because, like a Johnson and a Jackson, that those are slave names.
Right.
I didn't say it.
Those are names from
that's your better half. What you mean? So you said it. So I didn't say it.
Like Pennermans is actually and it's a very rare name, but that's actually in I'm about to say Bermuda, not Bermuda. Last name. So it was like that's dope in itself. So I was like very happy to take that last name on, So
I ain't gonna lie, she making my name famous.
And I told people
I gotta.
I told Justin, I'm like, tell your daddy you're welcome because I'm about to make his name famous.
I let my whole father's side know.
But just with the art and stuff.
Yeah.
Dennis, I'm gonna get you, Dennis, because you can still be known as the Holmes, even if legally she didn't change her name.
Yeah, like I said, you came in this thing with me. You're gonna drop that bad habit of a last name that you had. You're gonna get this.
I am in public. I am in public, but legally.
And it's like
see, okay. You gotta understand, as a woman, when they go through a divorce, it is tougher on women than it is on men. You gotta accept that now.
I understand that part.
But I know a lot of women who have been divorced who said the next time I get married, I'm keeping my last name. Now, if you want to call her Mrs. Whoever, that's fine. She'll answer to it. I ain't never been married. I've been answering to Mrs. Oglesby my whole life. Do you understand that? That's my son's father's last name. I accepted it. But my name wasn't. It doesn't matter. It's legalities, Dennis. Don't be telling a woman she can't. She got to change her last name.
Now, see, you was already future. If you thinking like that about divorce, that's a bad thought to have in your mind.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You shouldn't be thinking about divorce.
No, it doesn't mean that she's thinking about divorce. That's just called being prepared for anything that could happen in the future. Because when you go into a marriage, you don't go in thinking you're going to be divorced. You don't think about it. All you know is you love this person. Right. That's all you know.
Is it?
That's right.
And you're prepared.
That shows forward thinking to me. To me, that just shows preparedness.
No, it don't show no preparedness. My preparedness.
I don't care what you say, Dennis. You're wrong. You're
wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. If you want to keep your last name, marry your daddy. That's what I'm going to say.
Don't be trying to wish no incest on nobody. You don't do that.
No, I'm not wishing it. Don't be trying to keep your last
name.
Don't
be putting it on them. You're wrong. I don't care what you say. Ask your second question. We're going to argue later.
Now, y'all are daters. Y'all love to keep on dating. What's the best date that you've ever been on?
Maybe in the rap
studio one. The rap one, I think, was probably
I would say that was the best one, but I will say honorable.
Get him, Sheila. Go ahead, y'all.
The honorable mention one is when Aisha wanted to do a ceramic pottery thing, and I made this mug, and I never did that before. And granted,
I guess for you,
I still think the best one is the studio, but being that I've never done the whole ceramic painting thing, that was something new for me, and I didn't think I would enjoy it per se. I went into it like thinking like this is trying new things is good as long as it's not food.
What food did you try? Because you said this already. What food did you try that was bad?
He's scarred by food or something.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying. What food did you try that was bad?
I love trying new foods, and so I'm all.
I like keeping it simple. I don't feel like complicating my life with these feng shuis and stuff. Like I know, like tacos and burgers. I like Italian. I like different stuff like that. But
I thought you had some chocolate covered roaches or something. I said,
I know.
But it's just like I'm not big on like, okay, Aisha, this isn't this is Aisha, but like she tried this spaghetti squash meal. I was just like, just give me some regular noodles,
Oh no, the spaghetti squash is actually pretty good.
Thank you.
It was noodles made out of squash. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. They got like a machine that makes it.
Yeah, I ain't had that before. I haven't had that.
That like stringy. It's called yellow squash. It's this big yellow squash.
Yeah. I haven't had it yet. Yeah, when you open it, it just looks like spaghetti when it comes out. Right.
Like you get a fork to kind of like loosen it up. But yeah, it looks like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't had that one. That's the squash that I have not eaten before.
And Mr. The good Lord will come back before you even do it. So it's okay. You could be rapping. and that won't be on the check.
Oh my goodness.
Right here.
Oh my goodness.
Spaghetti squash.
Dustin will not have a show where he doesn't say something off the wall.
Man, I'm good.
I'll be just sitting there waiting on the movie. We be on Stay Tuned. I said, Justin gonna give me one for the day.
He
I
gonna
know it's
get me.
coming. He gonna give me one.
Every time I talk, he'll say, go like this. I'm like, oh, here he goes. Here he goes. Here he
It's
goes.
coming.
He got the finger up. It's a wrap.
Well, hold on now. Let me ask.
Yeah, but
those are my last two right there.
I don't know. I like I said, I haven't been married yet, and I always said if I got married, I would change my name. But after seeing what some of my folks have been through, I don't know. I don't know if I will.
I say don't
don't know. I'm just leaving the door open. That's all I'm doing.
My thing is, I get where Dennis is coming from. Neither am I trying to prepare for if anything hits. I don't want to think like that. I want to prepare for other things. I don't want to prepare for the. But I say don't make it about the name. If you want to get a hyphen, I'm not gonna die on that hill on that argument. I was like, I'm not gonna make it a big deal. So that's how I am with it.
My thing is, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me, or do you love the fact that I'm gonna be Mrs. Holmes? Which one is it? I mean, does it mean more to you to wake up next to me, or does it mean more to you that this chick can change her name? I mean, what's more important? And for me, I don't mind. It's not about changing the name as if changing my last name makes me feel less than a person or any of that. I really believe in the whole Mrs. thing. I believe in it. But the way this country is set up against women is the whole thing that changed my mind. It has nothing to do with my heart or preparing or thinking about divorce. That's not really what it has nothing to do with my heart, because I believe in marriage. I just like looking at y'all. It's like y'all were just made for each other. Y'all like this, y'all right here. You know what I mean? And I believe in that. But things can happen, and also, like I said, it's the way the what you have to go through to change your name before and after marriage. It's a process. It costs money. All this aggravation. Then you got to reset everything. You got to set up all your accounts differently and all this stuff. And now, in the computer age, now I've got username and passwords everywhere attached to Sharon Mullen. I can't even remember all that I have that I would have to change if I changed my name to something else. So that's what I'm just talking about, paperwork. I'm not talking about spirit. And that's the reason why I said, for me, my thought process is, if I get married to Samuel L. Jackson, you're going to call me Sharon Jackson everywhere I go, and I'm fine with that. But when I sign a legal document to buy this property, I'm going to be signing this Sharon L. Mullen. And y'all ain't going to know that. No one's going to know that but me and the real estate man. That's it, in the bank. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the love and the name and the children. And I'm not talking about any of that. All of that, I'm good with. Right. Call me Mrs. Call me Mrs. Jackson. Yeah. Instead of Miss Jackson. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Remember that song? Call me Mrs. Yeah, call me Mrs. Jackson. I'm good with that. I'll marry you, Dennis. Call me Mrs. Holmes. Just call me Mrs. Holmes. I'll marry you. Let's get married.
Don't fake it out with me. I'm cool.
We can go to the courthouse. And I'll sign a paper saying my name is Sharon Holmes just for you. Just for you. Just because that's the way you got to have it. I don't know why you saying no. You told me the other day you love me. You told me you love me, so you might as well go and get married.
I do, but I see it ain't as deep as on one side as it is the other.
Oh, see there now. You go again with that prove my love craziness that you say every week. No, it's not true. Now, Dennis, you cannot equate love to paperwork. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. But anyway, that's all my questions.
My last thing I'm gonna say is, my love overpowers paperwork. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, all right then. Then that's what we should go with. I told you I'll sign it, saying Mrs. Holmes, Mrs. Sharon Holmes. I just see what a lot of women did. I don't know if you know, Dennis, what a lot of women did is they dropped their middle name and they would put their maiden name as their middle name. So they would still have three names, but still won't lose it. So I would be Sharon Mullen Holmes and I would drop my middle name. That's how a lot of women did it.
Interesting.
They put their maiden name as their middle name. Like my auntie was Gracie Pearl, and I won't say the last name because that's maternal. And then when she got married, it became Gracie, and then her middle initial was from her last name, and then her last name was Bailey, and so she dropped her middle name. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. All right, Dennis, wrap us up. It's his turn. He missing his cue.
I can hear you.
I know you can. I said it's your turn. Wrap it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Have a great day.
Bye, y'all. Thank y'all for coming on.
Thanks, guys.